Naked Author, Jason, William, Galbraith, Stuart, Bruce, greatest author of my generation. Want to go over the manifesto that my story, if my story just came out with my discovery that I'm a paternal descendant of Robert the Bruce and everything about my books, running the LA Marathon, with a copy of my 10th book, second trilogy, in my ancestral Galbraith kilt and everything. That was amazing. And from that time, I put together all of my documentation on my DNA and everything that can confirm I'm a direct paternal descendant of Robert the Bruce. I sent that to University of Strathclyde in Scotland, and they didn't even look at it. They saw my last name's Michener, it's not Bruce, and so on and so forth. I've published everything, all of my snips and everything for the world to look at, verify, marvel at. University of Strathclyde. It's an amazing story. So I just want to go over some of the high points that I did write out. And my biggest things that I'm fighting over right now is being marginalized by AI, YouTube, my title, greatest author of my generation. I mean, break it down. My books I've been writing over a 20-year span. As I was finding out who I am, it started out with my real ancestors that were Bruce's, that were during the California Gold Rush that I wrote, and then it comes all the way full circle when I found out I'm a descendant on my maternal side, Galbraith, and then found out I can't run for chief of Clan Galbraith because it's on my maternal side, and I had to look at my paternal side. And that's where all the amazing, things happen, miracles or destiny, whatever you want to call it. But this was my breakdown. As far as I'll just try to read some of the highlights for you. I'll publish them somewhere else. But it's how do I persist despite my naysayers? The biggest naysayers in my life had been my Galbraith mother and my Michener father, who hated me from birth. My parents saw me as a reminder of each other, condemning me not for anything I did, but simply because I carried the DNA of the person they hated. Both despising me for carrying half of the other's DNA within me. They abused me through my childhood, and I ended up in foster care. Then again, I was met with more naysayers from a foster parent who said, basically, he introduced me to everybody when he first took me in as his son, and it took me a while, for me to develop that bond with him. And when I finally did call him father, he never called me son again, and he told me, I'd never amount to anything, and that I was unlovable because I'm a lot of energy. I'm very spirited in everything that I do. I don't, what's wrong with being passionate, right? It's in my DNA. So anyway, that was a tough little childhood and everything that I went through. And then when I wrote my first book, this one right here, it's on YouTube and everything. And then I published it, and I was trying to figure out, I have to, I can't just hope that people will find my books on the internet. I have to do something. I'm a man of action. I can't just hope and pray that people are going to find my books. I have to do whatever I can. Even if I fail, I have to give it all that I can. There's a quote in here, is that, I can live with failing for my dreams. I cannot live with my dreams. I failed to try. So whatever I'm going to do, whether it's running the LA Marathon, with my book, with AFib, knowing with each step I take, I could die. I'm going to give it everything that I have. And if I die, at least I died fighting for my dreams. And if I make it, I made it to my dreams. And either way, I'm happy. Way happier than never trying and dying without ever going for my dreams. That's not me, man. That's not my DNA or anything. So I wrote my first book. I hit the streets on Times Square, wrote Naked Author on myself, branded myself. You can watch it on YouTube. In 2007, on the streets, and I started telling people I'm going to become the greatest author of my generation. 20 years ago, 2006, and Gannett did a story on me, utilizing like 21st century technology with print on demand, publishing it, and then also promoting it all on like social media, everything as it came out. Again, greatest author of my generation is utilizing all of the technology of my generation that wasn't available like in the boomers age, the 20th century. You didn't have YouTube, you didn't have Amazon with all of this vast print on technology, DNA that I just did. My biological father wasn't ever able to figure that out. He didn't know. He was like, after Michener, there was a surname Best, and he just said, I guess we're the best of the Micheners. I'm the one that utilized 21st century technology and discovered, everything that I have, who he is, and never even told me or knew, and condemned me for being a Galbraith from my mother's side, and my mother condemned me for being a Bruce on my father's side. It's an amazing story that all of this breeding, when you look at my royalty warrior DNA, so much intermarriages, interbreeding. There's a lot of my ancestors stuck together. When they came to the New World, they stuck together. You can see all the pockets, and they just stick together, a lot of that. And then all of a sudden, I was born, and everybody hates me for some reason. But anyway, I was stuck with all these challenges. When I first walked on the streets with Naked Author on my body, it was like people were yelling at me on the streets by naysayers, calling me a faggot, calling me a cockknuckle, saying I'm a gimmick by branding myself as the naked author, doing stunts and not being taken seriously for my books as an author was something I struggled with from the first day I took to the streets, January 1st, 2007, and I wrote my exact concerns on my website 20 years ago, and it's still on there today. It's everything I've done, though. It's a whole 20-year story, and if that's what old authors, bro, I might just end it right here. But if authors in the 21st century, you think this is what makes you a greatest author of a generation or anything like that? It's utilizing everything. I'm a storyteller. Look up, ask ChatGPT to ask you what an author definition is in Latin. Latin name, it's a leader, it's a storyteller. A commander. That's what I am. That's why I'm always the greatest author of my generation. I used YouTube when it first came out. I used all the DNA, medical research. Right now, my Dr. Airbender that used heart surgery on me is brand new technology that kept me alive. So it's utilizing everything in the 21st century to tell my story. I'm telling a story about finding out that I'm the greatest descendant of Robert the Bruce and his grandson Robert II that Scotland has ever seen, that's alive today, with an unbroken Y-DNA track all the way back to Rollo, and Y-DNA goes back before Rollo. So we're going to go into all of that. My DNA, it's not debatable. DNA is what it is, and I have it, a lot of it, and it is amazing. But anyway, that is what I was struggling with in the beginning and everything. And I guess the main thing that I'd say is for kids and everything in foster care or anything, writing was my outlet. Writing has always been. I don't write because I'm trying to I care about how many likes I get or care about if it's a bestseller or not. I write because I have to get the thoughts and feelings out and everything like that. And I really hope, well, not hope, that's awful, but with the younger generation, as reading and writing is disappearing from the human race with AI, is that it's so essential for kids to write and to be able to express themselves and everything. And that's what I really wanted to do. with my everything that I've promoted, and this just goes into, like, I don't know, I should have broke it down a little bit better, but here it's like, I believe when you write, when you really write, you become clairvoyant. You may not know it at the time, but you are. When you really write, you're taking to places you didn't know that you would go. You become parts of things you can't explain, but as you keep writing, the story unfolds. The truth is revealed. You understand the vision, the voices, and the thoughts guiding you to capture your story, to release all of that was created in your head. And again, greatest author of my generation in the 21st century, is telling my story every way in 21st century technology, through YouTube, what I write, what I talk about, what I publish, all of my writing here and stuff. It's just like, that's the definition of what I'm doing. And I don't know, I want to break it down more for like kids and the importance of like writing and stuff. Yeah, that would be like the biggest thing. Okay, here it is on the 21st century technology. I was the first author to showcase my story and promote my journey on YouTube, starting January 1st, 2007, with my documentary titled Showing the Trials and Tribulations of Trying to Be Published as a Self-Published Author. My story on YouTube is a 20-year-old story written through a different, new 21st century platform. Instead of a physical copy of a book to read, it can be consumed visually, orally, as well as literally. I am telling a story all the same. Every book, video stream, and social media content I publish all ties together into a story I am telling as an author, as an artist, as a storyteller. Right? You understand that. So I'm going to leave it with, dude, this was me in the Javits Center. Look at this, dude. 14 years ago. 14 years ago. You see that? Only got 84 views in 14 years, dude. Is that sad? Like, that's it for struggling, dude. Look, the security card. Look, I'm a self-published author.
So what do you want to know how to get into? We have absolutely. Here we go. Sure.
Yeah, dude, I'll just leave you with this one right now. The New York City Javits Center, when I walked there, I showed the shift in publishing through social media platforms like YouTube, Amazon, Instagram, and others. 2006 Gannett article with my print-on-demand book technology that I was already utilizing then. Then I attended the Book Expo of America at the Javits Center in New York City on June 8th, 2010, that you can see on YouTube. 14 years ago, like 10 people looked at it. I'm telling a story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I get 0 likes or a million likes or anything like that. I didn't start in 2006, like writing my books and everything like that, because I care what you think or anybody else thinks. I do this because I have to do it. I have a story to tell. I am an author. And this is my story, no matter what, dude. So anyway, I hit to the streets of the New York City, the Book Expo. I saw other poor, sad, self-published authors hidden in the back of the Javits Center. They were charged over $500 a spot to sit there, hidden booths, not to be seen by any literary agents or mainstream publishers or anyone to buy one of their books. I knew something had to be done for these unseen, unheard, and unread self-published authors. I went into the bathroom, put on my Speedo, and wrote across my stomach, NakedAuthor.com, with my book in hand. I began on recording it on YouTube and started my peaceful protest. I was standing up for the self-published authors against the old traditional 20th century mainstream publishers like Random House. I was standing up against the likes of Random House giving out book deals to fake authors that don't even write their own books. Ghostwriters do it for them while celebrities take all the credit. I saw Tony Hawk there with a line of people waiting to buy his book. He may be the greatest skateboarder of his generation, but he is not the greatest author of my generation. I am. I walked by him in my Speedo with my book in my hand, with his line of followers standing there, looking at me with stunned faces and gawking mouths. I walked up and down the aisles until security busted me, shut me down, and made me put on my clothes. All of this is published on YouTube, and all the publications I've also put out on like PowerPoint presentations about promoting yourself and all of this type of stuff. So that's like the main thing that I want to say. And then for kids, like, you have to keep writing. Like, if I didn't write right now, I mean, everything that I went through, like losing everything, if I'm a direct paternal descendant of Robert the Bruce, then we know I have a son, Donovan Jason William Galbraith Stuart Bruce, that needs to change his name to who he really is as well. And I write about that, and that writing is what I'm able to get all of that out. Just like I did when I was a little kid going through tough times in foster care. Dude, writing is essential outlet that if you're poor, paper and find a pencil, and you can start getting those feelings out. And then for kids to lose those skills into the future and not have that outlet, it's athletics and writing is what saved me from, total being consumed by the hatred of adults and others on me when I wasn't strong enough to fight back. And now, dude, slay everybody, dude. Anyway. This is like the breakdown. I guess I'll do like little more videos and stuff. I really want to get down to like what I talked about for like kids to write and stuff like that, because that's like what helped me. And never, dude, people are like, oh, don't write this way, or don't use too many words, or your editing sucks, or anything like that. Fuck those people, dude. If you're a human being or writing, it's so important. Get your story out there. Get whatever is compelling you to write. Get your story out there. Dude, AI can do all the editing. Let them do it. They can't become a human that has the emotions that are let you fill your characters of your books with. So, like, human writing is even more important now than ever before, because it's going to become a lost art. And, what I'm filled, all of my trilogies, if I listen to those people, dude, I wrote this book 2006, 20 years ago. And I didn't even know why or how. And I did it again. Nobody was buying my books. But something inside of me, internally, the Bruce, Galbraith, all of my ancestors pouring inside of me made me do all of this. And now I've proven that I'm a direct descendant of Robert the Bruce in my actions, in my writing, in my blood, my DNA. This is one of the most amazing stories in the world that's never going to be repeated again. 20th century, they didn't have the technology of what I've done as the greatest author of my generation, utilizing everything in my generation, tell my stories both on the internet, hard copy on books, as an author, greatest author of my generation. I'm telling a story in my posts, everything that I do, that I write, I'm authoring. Telling you a story, all my DNA results, my ancestors that tie into my books. That if I listen to the naysayers, what are they doing? They've got nothing they've created. I have so much more to create and bring it all together. and I'm going to Scotland this summer, and we'll see Scotland. This is unbelievable DNA, Scotland, a direct descendant, the unbroken Y-DNA descendant, the thing you care the most about, goes all the way back to royalty, right to Robert II, 1371, to me, 2025 today. So Scotland, do whatever you gotta do. You know, I'm gonna write my books. Like I'm a bad Bruce because I was born in America. That's why you don't like me. I had no control over my Bruce father and my Galbraith mother that both hated me for being born. What I do have control of is writing my books about my ancestors and proving, which I've done, that I'm a direct Y descendant, unbroken, from Robert the Bruce, his grandson, Robert II, and all the Stuarts of Bute, all the way down to me today, 2025. And I've proven it without ever knowing I'm a direct descendant of Robert the Bruce through my actions. All these actions are fucking Bruce actions. Cheers.